God forbid, God forbid, God forbid. If anything should happen in my marriage today, it's my fault.
We are in this place. We are abroad now. My family is not here. You have your family here. You have your family. Me, I'm alone here. I'm family. So you are cheating me.
I can remember my wife telling me one day that I will call my mom. Maybe I will go back to.
Hey guys, hello everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Esther and I film about faith, relationships, food, melody, and lifestyle. So if you want beautiful content concerning these topics, so you can just quickly subscribe. And I would also like to thank all my subscribers who have joined this family, those who have watched my videos. Thank you so much. Okay, so quickly into today's video. I have a guest. Here. I won't do any introduction. I'll just bring him on and let him introduce himself. And then we dive right into the topic. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
This is my first guest. Is it guest or tag on my channel? So it's a very special moment. Thank you very much for coming to us today. So
you're welcome. It's a pleasure being part of this program today. And I really want to say a very big thank you for what you are doing. Thanks for not being selfish with the information. And I really believe a lot of people have been blessed and we've really got enough from what you are sharing out there. Thanks so much.
Thank you. So please introduce yourself.
Do I need to say more? Like I always introduce myself as a wonderful husband. I love to start with that. A father of two, a teacher, an influencer, not the one that not social media influencer though, but at every point of my day of my life, I just want to ensure I make an impact in someone's life. So I always take that as part of my daily duty. So that's why I call myself an influencer. I'm a lover of God. So okay, but enough of that. But my name is Steven.
Okay,
thank you.
So the name is already there, it's showing there. But I'd like to add something. Is family. Yes, it's family. Is my brother-in-law. My brother's younger. I said my
Brother.
my husband. My husband's younger brother, and we live together here in Turkey. You know, we do life together here in Turkey. So it's a pleasure having you here with us.
Thank you.
I'm happy to have you here. Okay, let's quickly go into the discussion of the day. The topic says expectations before and after marriage. And I would like to break it down a bit. You know, I want to paint a scenario where every young person, we all look forward to getting married. And based on what we know, based on what we've seen, maybe from our parents' marriage or friends, marriages that we have seen around us, or things we watch on TV, books we read and all that, everyone has formed an idea of marriage in our heads, in our minds. Everyone has, I think, at least one thing or two to say about marriage, like the kind of person they want to get married to. So we want to talk about that. Let's talk about the things that we expect marriage to look like, and the way it is after we get into marriage. Is it the way we see marriage before we got into it, and the way it is when we are inside it? So is it the same? What is the difference? How can we match the two together and all that? Because some people, I see a lot of people on Facebook that say that, okay, after reading some people's bad experiences of marriage, they'll be like, if this is the way marriage is, so I'd rather be single. I don't want to do this and that. So they really do not know what exactly it is. Those people are sharing their experiences about marriage, but they're now scared. They don't want to go into marriage because of this thing. So from your own experience, from your own point of view, and I would like us to be as practical as possible, what how did you view marriage before you got married? And I believe you have been married for a number of years now. So you said that I'll leave you to say that yourself. But so before then and now in the marriage, what has it been like? Starting from before.
Thank you so much. Looking at the word expectation itself, it's more like when you are saying you are going into a kind of assumption. You are not it's not something that you are so sure of, but you are expectant of something that is going to, it's under probability. It's not something that you are so sure it's going to be like this or it's not going to be like this. But so expectation to me, so you said we should be practical. I will try as much as possible to be practical. From my own angle, before getting married, I'm a kind of person that I'm not the way people, I don't like to follow crowd to do things. Yeah, that is me. Okay. That is me for you. And so when people are following, say, oh, this is what we do, this is our expectation, I would like to disappoint you. I didn't have a list of any expectation when I was getting married. Okay, the person has to do this, my wife to be has to do this, or these are the things I'm expecting from her. Yes, as human beings, we have this kind of how we want our home to be. But just like other people would do it, like these are my expectations from my wife. No, I never heard that.
So you went into it with a blank.
Yeah.
Blank.
What I just did was I tried as much as I could then while I was preparing to get married to read books. And any book I lay my hands on marriage, I try to read as much as I can. And I attended seminars. I attended workshops on marriage. I connected with men and women that I know, yes, their homes are there are places I can pick things from. I never missed MFM, Mountain on Fire in Nigeria, MFM, Gent 218. I never missed all these messages from Pastor Sam Adeyemi, messages from Bimbo Dukoya, all those messages. I always wanted to get them so I can pick something from them. Even Pastor Adeboye, I got their messages on marriage. So I try to learn from those teaching. And from another angle, I belong to a group of like 3 guys, unmarried guys then. So God used one of them for me. And that's another thing. Because I happen to be someone that before I got married, if I was having conversation with you in less than 3 minutes, I would say like 5 things about my wife to be. Hey, this on the whole, my wife, my fiance, my this, my that. So the guy was looking, I think he had studied me and he said something one day. He said, bro, it's like you really love this sister you want to marry, but the way you portray her like an angel that is perfect in all things. So, and he never said Holy Spirit told him, but he said, please always remember she's not an angel. So when you get married, she will make mistakes. This person was not married. So God used that word, that line for me. So I didn't put much on expectation. Okay, this is what I'm expecting. That is what but now for some of us that we don't have expectation, a lot of expectation build up by the time we get into the marriage for real. And this is where I would like to talk about many things that we don't even know. Yes, I was saying I never had expectation, whereas there were some hidden expectations that were never discovered by myself, and I never discussed it with anybody. I never listed it down. So by the time I got into the marriage itself, I got to see them. I saw a lot of them that, oh, why did she do this? And why did she do this? Why we should put this thing here? And so many things. Why didn't she call me? All those things. There were expectations that I never believed I had them in me until we got to the playground where the reality sets in. But thank God for communication. Thank God for communication. Because of communication, close communication, we are able to sort out those expectations. We discuss them. Now I've been married for 5 years. It's in less than 3 months. Yeah, in less than 3 months, my marriage will be 6 years. There have been a lot of ups and downs, but we thank God we've been through it and God has been helping us. So expectation exists, and expectation, there are things that we can deal with if we learn how to communicate well. So that is what I would like to say on that.
Okay. One thing I could pick from that, I can also say the same thing, like that. When I was looking forward to marriage, I was looking forward to, everyone has this beautiful picture about marriage. You are sure you have the right partner. You're going to start our lives together. We are going to do this. We are going to do that, and all that. But then when we get into the marriage, you now get hit by the reality. Like some things that you thought were not real. Like it's a real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a different world that we really need to fit in. But one thing I caught from what you said was communication. Communication. Of course, there were going to be some things that you have discussed with your fiance or fiancé before you got married, like having plans, having directions. I mean, this is the kind of marriage we are going to have. These are the kind of things, we have put some things in place. But then maybe after you get into the marriage thing and you see that maybe what we have planned before, what we have discussed are changing, or maybe you should be able to communicate, let's sit down again, let's go back to the drawing board. What can we adjust? What can we? So I think communication is very, 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 very key. Very, very key. So the foundation is that you need to be with somebody that you can communicate with, because I know that there are many couples that they find it hard to be able to communicate. It's very difficult to communicate. Sometimes it might be that the husband finding it difficult to communicate with the wife, or the wife is finding it difficult to communicate with the husband, and something like that. So communication is very key. So another thing I also like to look into is now that in the marriage, were there some things that that you thought you should have known? Like I used to watch some people talk, or maybe on YouTube videos or things. The topic would be like things no one told me about marriage. Like what I wish somebody told me about marriage. For example, I also see what I wished I knew about childbirth after things that we didn't know. That okay, after we got married, we now knew that okay. We used to hear only that marriage or this or that or, but when we really now get into it, there's some things that we still do not know. We didn't knew. I mean, there are some things that we didn't know, yes, until we got there, that we now realize, okay, this is that. Was there anything like that for you?
Sincerely, I think I mentioned it at the beginning. There are a lot of things that you in fact, to be honest with you, the first week of you said we should be practical, so I'll be practical. The first week of my marriage, I won't say it was like hell, but there were a lot of discoveries, not negative discoveries, actually. Not things that are negative, not things but now when I flash back, myself and my wife, we laugh about it. We tickle ourselves about it.
Real things.
Yeah, like there are some personal things that we discover, and at the point, like I remember my wife telling me one day that I will call my mom. Maybe I will go back to. Yeah, it was as funny as that. It was as funny as that. So there were so many things that we never knew that we would get to encounter them in marriage. But like I mentioned at the beginning, when understanding, when we talk about communication, understanding is another thing. And another thing apart from understanding is sense of responsibility. Now, as human beings, we should understand that even if your wife happens to be an angel or your husband is an angel, there is this difference. Even two angels are not made the same way. The the differences will still come in. And that is where many of us are missing it. And you see people going into court, okay, they want to go and fight for divorce. And you ask them why. They said, because of irreconcilable differences. Yes. Before you got married, did you ever think about those differences? They will always be there. Now, the question I always ask people is, okay, what about, do you want to tell me that since you've been working in your place of work, you've not been having irreconcilable differences with your boss? How have you been doing it? You've been working in the same place for 5 years. Yes, I know people will tell me, that is job. It's not about marriage. If you could, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be
True.
Yeah, like I know it all. No. I'm still very young in marriage, but this is what has been working for me. I can't tell you that I have a perfect marriage. No. But those expectations, anytime we discover them, and can I tell you another thing? Those expectations are still coming. As your marriage is growing, the expectations are growing. I mean, the unknown expectations now, they are growing. Now, it's now for you to see, okay, this is the way we are going to be handling our expectations, unknown expectations when they set in. We talked about communication. Communicate it. Both of you should understand, okay, am I the one to first talk about it, or she's the one to first talk about it? You might not even discuss it, but sense of responsibility make you feel like, okay, I want my marriage to work. Whoa. For example, I have children, and those are the things I think about, that, okay, I want to set wonderful examples for my children. So sometimes when I discover a new thing that I'm not really happy with, instead of going haywire or just start destroying everything emotionally, I just try to get at one point and I keep quiet. It's it's not something that we won't discuss, but I try to look for the best time to discuss it. Because there are some of these things that when you discuss it at that point that the thing is happening, it might get to another level. So that I'm not saying it will work like this for everybody. And that's another thing we need to understand about marriage. Marriage is an individual thing. I always, like I mentioned at the beginning, that I've attended seminars, I've read books, but
people tend to use templates.
Yeah, I am sorry to say this. I don't have someone I'm looking at as a role model for my marriage. I don't have. I set my own.
You don't know what that marriage is all about. You don't know what that marriage is.
I'm telling you, I set my own standard. I once listened to a very wonderful man of God. I won't want to mention his name. And he was saying something about marriage, and he said, when people see myself and my wife, they feel like we are the best couple on earth. But they don't know that we fight. Sometimes when we fight, it will take the grace of God for us to come back. But you still see them smiling. So we have to understand all these things are there in marriage. They are coming in. But let's understand how to handle them. I think that is the key thing. Either you have an expectation from the beginning, or it keeps setting in by the time the marriage starts. Please be responsible. Tell it to yourself that I want this marriage to work. Whoa. So these are the things I will be doing to make my marriage work. When are the best time for you to discuss, to communicate about those expectations? And another thing is, there are some expectations that You don't need to discuss them.
You grow
Just
into
walk. Yeah. Yeah. Because
grow into
another thing about marriage that people are getting wrong, you can't change your wife completely. And you cannot change your husband completely. Let's be fair with ourselves. It's not easy. It's not easy. Someone has lived with her mom or with his dad or with whoever for 20 something years, and he has grown into a kind of wonderful culture, wonderful family system, wonderful family and community society belief, and you just come within 1 year and you believe you will change.
overnight.
You great everything as it's not. No, now, no, now. Even spiritually, it's not the first day you get born again that you grow into, but you start chewing bones. So these are the things we need to understand in marriage. Let's be patient with ourselves. Let's grow together. Let's learn to grow together. Don't let us be too rigid when we are trying to change ourselves. And let's be committed to making things work. And let's not be looking into shall I call it undue modeling. Like, if you are not doing it the way my pastor is doing it in his marriage, then my marriage is not godly. No, your pastor is not telling you the truth. Not that it's not lying. I mean, telling you the truth, not that it's lying, but it's not everything we share openly.
Yeah.
They are personal battles. So let's learn all these things that as soon as we discover one expectation, I wouldn't want to go into details. Nearly every week I get things, even about myself. In fact, recently I was meditating about myself, about my marriage, and I said something to myself that God forbid, if anything should happen in my marriage today, it's my fault. And I got to that point. So why I did that was to let myself know that God has blessed me with a wonderful woman that is ready to make things work at all times. So if God has done that wonderful thing for me, then I need to play my own role to ensure that things are always working the way they should work. So, and that's, I will round it up on the level of let's be responsible. Let's be committed. Let's respect one another. Let's respect each other. That okay, this is where she came from. I cannot just erase everything one day. Even when you are formatting a laptop, a system,
it takes time. Yeah,
it takes time. So these are the things I will need to share concerning the new expectations as they are developing and how you can handle them. I'm not giving you my own templates to use.
That's a sermon. You're just giving a sermon.
Use your own templates. Come
You're
up.
just giving a sermon. I mean, I've picked many things for what you have said.
Thank you so much.
A lot of things are just ringing in my head. Like many people come into, like the last thing you said now, like God forbid if something happens, and many people, they are still of the opinion that if a marriage fails, is the fault of the woman. Like she was the one who didn't keep it together. And I think they are talking like this based on the fact that the Bible said that a wise woman builds her home, and the foolish woman brings it down. But that is not, in my own opinion, that is not to say that the husband also, because I mean the husband also do not have a role to play. Because when the Bible said, wives submit to your own husbands, he also said, husband love your wife. And I don't want to go into that. I don't want to go into that. Love. I mean, it's there, plain and simple. Yeah, so that we don't make this video too long. And when you mentioned something about your wife saying that, okay, she's going to call her mom, I also did the same thing. I can't remember what year. Now, maybe in our second year or so.
Oh, yes.
Year one. That year one, year one was like, what should I say now? I mean, year one was our first time living together for that time. It was we enjoyed it all, but we were fighting almost every day. And anytime we have any misunderstanding like that. One thing that comes to my head is that one childish thought that comes to my head is that we are in this place, we are abroad now. My family is not here. You have your family here. You have your family. Me, I'm alone here. I'm family. So you are cheating me. You are cheating me. Is it because I don't have anybody to run to? I mean, something blah, blah, blah. It took a long time for me to stop thinking like that. Like, I mean, it's a childish thought, but it took a long time for me because, and I think it's also natural because I just left a whole country. I mean, I just left that place. I left everybody, my family, everything. I came. I'm new here. You are the only loved person that I have. You know, every other person, I'm just getting to know they are not that. So, I mean, so if you're having that misunderstanding, I'll feel like I'm alone. I'm alone in a foreign country with no. I can't just dash out and say, oh, I want to go and talk to, you know, anyone I need to talk to. It has to be on the phone, but that will not be. So that happened like that in the first year, and sometime in the second year, we also had that. I can't remember what it was about. I also said I was working then. I said when I receive my next salary like this, I'll just book a flight. I'll just book a flight and I'll go to Nigeria. I mean, I'll not even look back. I'll just go to Nigeria. Maybe I'll write a note. Maybe I'll not write a note. I'll just go. But after the misunderstanding ended, I now looked back and I started laughing. I now told my husband, this was what I was thinking. I both laughed it away. I was like, that was just the emotions of that particular time. So sometimes when we react to issues that those issues then, we have learned to outgrow them. Like you said, you mentioned growth. It's very important for couples to grow in their marriage. Like, when you get into that marriage, everything is still new. You are, the passion is flying, everything is still there. But away from all those butterflies and everything, there are real life issues that start coming to play that you need to start learning and growing from. That is what caused all sort of misunderstanding, because you are living together most of the time for the first time and you are still learning to adapt, But there are some things that were issues to me then that when they happen now, it doesn't do anything to me anymore. I'll just if we need to talk about it, we will talk about it. I mean, growing is a very important factor. When the husband is growing, the wife should also be growing.